Hey folks, this is our travel journal. We have finally escaped. Look at this beautiful environment. It is 70 degrees. It has been beautiful here in southeastern Arizona. We are so happy to be here. Our winter was long and brutal. Our time in Kansas was extended. It got cold, extremely cold. Thankfully, we had some very nice relatives that allowed us to stay for a month in their big shed that they had on our property. So we had that whole rig inside a shed while temperatures got down to, I believe, as low as like -5 and -6. It was pretty brutal in windy and snow and blizzard conditions. Kind of ridiculous, but we stayed nice and toasty in there. That part worked fabulous. I gave you guys a list of all the fix-it items we had to do on Harvey, and it just absolutely drove me crazy. I was working on him for weeks, and things would happen like I had a coolant leak I had to chase down. Okay, so I thought it was in the EGR system, so I took 2 days to tear out the EGR system. So that's the part that takes the exhaust that's been burned the first time, and it circulates it back through. It cools it a little bit and circulates it back into the engine and burns all those particulates again, so there's less in the final exhaust that gets kicked out of the tailpipe. And I thought the cooler in that system was the sign of the leak, or was the source of the leak. But nay, I took 2 days digging that thing out of there, and we pressure tested it, dunked it in water, and hooked a air pressure hose up to it, and no bubbles, no leak in that thing at all. So then I had to put it all back together, and I still had a leak. And in the process, we had found that a hose connection back at the firewall was dripping a little bit too. So we thought, okay, I hadn't seen that before. That must be a new development. I've got 2 leaks in the system, and I'll have to fix that next. That's all it was that hookup going through the firewall. I could have had it done in literally, I could do it now probably in an hour, and it was an $8 part as opposed to 2 days and that $500 cooler I bought. Thankfully, I at least got to return that. At any rate, we get all that done. I'm all excited. Truck's running again, should be in good shape. Don't have to borrow vehicles anymore. And the starter quit. I drove it to a meeting one night, and I noticed as I was going along, making stops along the way, it was starting weaker every time. So much so that when I got back to the RV, I just went ahead and tried to start it again because it seemed like it was getting really weak. It didn't start at all. It was totally dead. I knew it wasn't the batteries, so the starter was the number one culprit, and I ended up having to switch that out too. Not to mention, we also changed out tie rod end, both bearings on the front, on each side on the front axle. I redid the brake pads. We had to do both A-arms for the CV joint, the upper CV. I think it was the CV joint. There's a Y-shaped arm that comes up and attaches to the CV joint, and the boot had given out. I ended up replacing those on both sides. All kinds of work. Changed the oil, changed the fuel filter. I was under and around that truck a lot. And all the while that's going on, we had the holidays. Everyone in the house got strep throat. And the day after the holidays, I came down with influenza B, and that laid me up for about 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. Selena got a little bit, the kids got a little bit. It was backwards of what it normally goes in our house. They get it bad, and I get it a little bit. This one I got bad. Oof, boy, that was bad. And you know, if it had been one of the kids getting that bad, Selena probably would have had him in the hospital. At any rate, we made it. Here we are. And we're so excited to be out here. And we're going to try to do these kind of weekly travel journals like this as we go along. I'll put them on a 2-week delay. So this is the 23rd. You'll see this on not March 2nd, but March 9th. I think it'll be that this will actually air. So that way, by the time you see us here, we're long gone. We did make a couple improvements to the RV while we're in Wichita that I think are going to make a huge difference for our living this year. We finally got a little table to set in the corner to have our ice machine and our water filter right there. So we got the ice machine off of the countertop in the kitchen. We have very little countertop and it was sitting right on the little hatch that we have that we can access our trash can. So we had to, anytime we went in our trash can, we had to open the cabinet door, pull out the trash can, put something in the trash, push it back, close the door. Now I've just got the little hatch on top that we can put trash in, and it works fantastic. And that little table in the corner is working nice too. We also took a set of drawers in our front bedroom and converted that into a desk. And that is going to make an enormous difference in our day-to-day living, because a lot of things, everything tends to happen right at the table. The kids want to be there. I want to be there and work, and it just is just too much for that one space. When we can set up the tent, that works great for me to come out and work. And Selena would work up in the bedroom on what would become this desk, but at that time was a chest of drawers, and she'd stand there and work all day. That wasn't great either. But now we've got this tent and we've got a sit-down workstation. She doesn't mind when she works being out there at the table with the kids, and then I can sit at this desk. Everybody is so much happier. We do lose some storage with that change, but I'll tell you, your problem in an RV, should I say never? I'll say never. Your problem in an RV is never storage. If your storage in your RV is full, I bet $100 your RV is overweight. Your issue is never storage. Your issue is always weight. We had all our storage full. We were a little overweight. So losing a little bit of storage is okay. And that's what we did right there. We lost 2 drawers, and we had to take everything that was in all our closet spaces and those 2 drawers and consolidate it all into those closet spaces. We had to get rid of some stuff, and so far that's all working really great, and that's going to make our 2025 a lot easier. Hopefully more changes like that to come. This is one of our family favorite spots. This is Indian Bread Rocks in southeastern Arizona, just south of the town Bowie, Arizona, spelled like Bowie, pronounced Bowie. And every time we come out west, we come out here and we spend between 7 and 10 days out here boondocking, and the kids love climbing all over these rocks right out here that you see behind me. They'll be out there for hours in the afternoon. Selena's actually up there with them right now, and they just love it out here. And there's nothing out here for us to do other than that. So Selena and I get a lot of stuff done. We're not distracted by too much. We relax a little bit. This is a good place for us to be because there's nothing else to do. The downside is we're very isolated out here. The nearest Walmart is an hour away in Benson, an hour plus. So there's only so long we can stay here before we start running out of groceries. It's a 14-day max. We usually don't make it quite that long, and we feel like we're gonna get to Walmart in Benson. That's usually the way we're headed, so we just might as well hitch up the rig and head that way and not come back. That's the way that kind of turns out. But you can find this on Campendium, on the Campendium app. And it's a fabulous spot. Always a favorite stop here in southeastern Arizona. And did I mention it's 70 degrees? And there's so many of you out east dealing with snow and ice. Hang on a second, I gotta soak this in. That's nice. See you guys next week.